Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the live session recording from Tuesday, October 22nd, week 2. Unfortunately, about halfway through the session, my internet went down, so I had no recording. I had some students in here. Now, I don't because it's the next day I'm making this recording for you, so I'm going to go ahead and go through this just like I did with the students that came to that live session. So it obviously won't be as interactive and as great as it usually is because I don't have any students, but I still want to go through and for you and go through the work and different things like that. First off, take a look at this funny cartoon. It's all about computers and how we try to get that to move a little bit. All about computers and what we think about computers and technology sometimes. You can see both the man and the computer are saying, can't you do anything right? Well, of course, that relates to programming because computers don't do things on their own, although they can crash and things like that, but they don't think on their own. So a person has to actually program the computer. So, the man wants the computer to do something right, but then the computer says, can't you do anything right? Can't you program me properly? So just something to think about when you're doing programming is that we need to make sure whatever we say in our program is what we want the computer to do, because we're the ones that control that. Yeah, a few notes I want to pay particular attention to so everybody is clear on things. First, use proper subject line in Kmail. So remember, the subject line in the Kmail should say the name of the course and the help you need. So in the chat, I'm going to type it, so the proper subject line of the Kmail for this class might be something like Java programming, need help with name program. Oops. So what you're telling me is that it's the Java programming class, and you're telling me the help that you need and what the assignment is. So that's what you need to do when you send Kmails. Now this part up here, these 4 sentences, I had students think about this stuff and share it with me. We're not going to go over that, but you can think about that for yourself. Use proper subject line. Follow directions to name files properly. Extremely important in programming. We'll see some samples in a little bit. But the names have to be exactly right. In Java programming, capital letters, small letters have to be exactly correct. Look at the assignment direction announcement. I have videos on how to do the work. I'll show you that announcement shortly. Some of you have probably looked at those. Assignment samples, or that's assignment directions announcement. Then assignment samples announcements, I'll create screenshots of what your work should look like. So then you can get your work to match up with that. Recent student questions announcement, I'll show you what that is, but that is a place where you can look at questions other students have asked and possibly get your question answered without having to wait for me to email you back. And finally, complete all the unit work before you do the exams or quizzes. I had one student today that said, hey, I want to get all the quizzes done for the course. Can I get into the other units? And I said, no, you wait until you get work done in the units, because you may actually learn something from doing the work in the units, right? It can help you on the quizzes and exams. Now, I do want to go ahead and talk a little bit about a couple of these items up here. The like, what issues have you had in school the last couple weeks? I guess I can't minimize that, so I'll just do this. The main item that students have had is in way of scheduling. I had one student said that she has a weekly to-do list. Well, if you have a weekly to-do list, then that means you're giving yourself the whole week, which usually goes until Sunday, to get the work done. So you have no pressure to do it from day to day. Well, I would suggest you have a daily to-do list. In my example of a daily to-do list, what I do at the end of every day is I'll figure out what I need to get accomplished the next day. I need to make sure I grade web page design. I need to create a recording for Java programming. I need to call these 12 students. So I'll make that list, and then that's the list that I will complete for work for Wednesday or Thursday or whatever it is. So I encourage you, at the end of every day, make a list of work to do the next day, and then do that work that next day. You'll find you're much more successful. Don't just make a list for the week-long work, because you will never get to it until the end of the week, and then you'll run out of time. So please do that. Alright, moving ahead to the next screen. Now, what we're going to do in this session, we're going to go over work for the week. So we're going to look at what work we have to do, look at how to install Java Developer Kit, and explore 3 steps in writing, compiling, and executing a program. So for Tuesday work, I'm trying to scroll that up so I just have the top sentence to look at. Oh well. So, of course, you have the write-up to do, install Java Kit, so that's 2 things to do for this week. You have basic elements quiz, operators quiz, modifiers quiz, exam. So you say have 6 things for this week. Quizzes don't take you very long. Installing Java is about 15 minutes, and then you have the write-up. Then you have the name program, and I'll go over exactly how to do the name program. That's going to be pretty quick too, because you're actually going to do most of it as part of the lesson for the week. So of course you have the Tuesday and Thursday breakdowns, so you can better schedule your time. And now what I want to do, I'm going to go through how to do the 3 steps in Java programming. And the way the 3 steps work, I'm going to have to reorganize this page a little bit. Get this out of the way. We'll come back to that. So there are 3 steps. The first step you can see up here is to create the program. So to write the program, that's step number 1. So step number 1 right up here is to write the program. And you do it in a text editor, then you save it to your desktop. Now the reason we're going to save it in our desktop is because that was what lets us compile it easier, and I'll show you how that works. So here's a sample program. You can see that it starts off with a class, and class is a category. And then you have these required lines, and then this one you can see is going to print out on your screen, happy to see you. That's step number 1, is to write the program and save it. Step number 2 is to compile it. And you compile it in the command prompt window. It's called the terminal window. And I'll show you what that is shortly. That's where you compile it. Terminal on there. We compile it in the command prompt, and you can see that the command to compile is Java C. So just think of that as Java compile. Then we execute it or run it by typing Java sample work. So what I do is I write the program, so up in here is where I write it, and then down here I compile it. I'm saying, hey, Java compiling program, please compile the program on my desktop called sample_work.java. Then after it compiles, then I go back and I say, hey computer, please run the Java program called sample work. Now your file names must be exact. It's so hard to get this thing to scroll down instead of wanting to move. Oh, jeez. Anyway, your file name must be exact. Like sample work, capital sample underscore work is not the same as lowercase sample underscore work. Capital sample underscore work is not the same as capital sample without underscore work. It must be exact. We'll see more of that in a little bit. We'll go ahead and get that out of the way. And now look at these steps again. Now here's what it looks like working from the command prompt, and we'll do some command prompt work in a minute. So taking a look at this, the first thing we have to do is we have to change, so pretend I've written the program already. So the first thing we do is we change to our desktop, so you can see desktop there. I'll go ahead and pull the hand out here so I can point to it. So we do CD space desktop to get to our desktop. Once we're on the desktop, then we run the Java compiler, Java AC or JavaC, and we compile that exact program. Then the third step we do is we tell the computer to execute the program called sample work. And then it prints out happy to see you on the screen. And the assignment in this course for you for this second week is you're going to do one that will print your name right here. So your program is going to be exactly like the sample one up here and the sample one you do in the course. So that's how the compiler works. Now I'm going to do and the execution works. Now what I'm going to do is open up my program and the command prompt to show you how all this stuff works together. So I'm going to go right here. So here I go. Here's the sample program, and you're going to do this sample program in the course. I don't remember if it has you do welcome to my world or what it has you do. It might say hello world. But you're going to do this sample program, so I'm doing it in a text editor. And then after I do that, then I do File, Save As. And I'm just saving it as I said. I'm saving it to my desktop. So I'm in my desktop. You can see sample_work.java. I want to make sure I put all files here for when I save it. Then I hit Save. Of course, I'm replacing because I already have it there. So there, I've saved it. So now that I've created it, I've saved it, now I need to go to the command prompt. So I'm going to go down here to Start. And right here I'm going to type in CMD. That gets the command prompt. At the top of my screen, I don't know if you can see it, but I have a link to the CMD, the command prompt. And here's the command prompt window. Well, command prompt is, this is like back in the old days how you would work with computers to make things happen. So you can see I'm at the G drive in the users folder for Ron. I'm at the command prompt. First thing, just as the picture that I had earlier, I'm going to CD, which means change directory, to desktop. So now I'm in the desktop because that's where my program is saved. Now if I wanted to, I could put CD space desktop slash Insight 2013-14, so I could go drill all the way down to my folder where I keep my stuff. It's much easier just working from the desktop, a lot less typing. So what you'll do with this is once you get your program to work through the desktop, and after you submit it, or after you get it worked through the desktop, then what you'll do is you'll just go and put that program in your Java folder to save it for later use. Okay, now here I'm at the desktop. So step number one, remember we saw in this shot a minute ago, I have to compile it. So Java C space SAMPLE underscore work dot JAVA. Whoops, I spelled work wrong, and since we're in compiler, I have to backspace rather than use the mouse. So I'm saying, hey Java program, please compile, that's the letter C, the sample work.java file. Hit enter, now it compiles it, and it comes up to another command line. Now we're back at the command line. Now I want to run it. So I say, hey computer, run the Java program that is called sample underscore work. Then I hit, so I told it to run that program. And there it printed welcome to my world. That's it, this program worked. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this to show how you can go between the command window and your text window. So maybe I want this to print my name. So I'm going to put Ron H right here. So I put Ron H, and I want that, so I go back to the command prompt, and I don't have to do a new command window, I can just start from here. So I'm going to do, anytime you make a change, you have to compile, so Java C sample underscore work dot Java. So please compile the sample work dot Java program on the desktop. Enter. So it compiles it. And now I say Java program, please execute sample underscore work. Hit enter, and now it executes. Uh-oh, it said welcome to my world. I wonder why. Let's go back to this. The reason it did, because when I made that change here, what didn't I do? I didn't save it. I meant to do that on purpose. So now I'm going to do File, Save. So now it saves it. And then if I go down here and go through these steps again, I need to compile it first, so anytime you make a change, you have to compile. Sample_work dot Java. Oh, dang it, lousy typing. Sample_work.java, so I'm compiling with the javac command, and now I'm going to run it. So I say Java program, hey, please run the sample_work program. And now look, Ron H shows up. So that's how this works, how you go between the text window, or text editor window, and the command prompt. Now there's a part of the lesson in the course that has you do this exact stuff. So you need, and I don't know exactly what these brackets mean. I'm going to try to see what that means and whether you actually need them or not, but the sample in the course has you do that. So this will make that program work for you. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you, was how the compiler and everything works. Then we also, one of the things we want to do today is we're going to look at how to install Java Developer. So we're going to look at that now. And that's in so here's the PowerPoint. I'll show you how to access it in the class. So in this PowerPoint, you just go through it, and there's the link to go to download the proper version. And then when you get to that screen, you see this link right here, so you'll click on that. In the next screen, you need to accept the license, and an important part down here, it says select your operating system. Go ahead and choose the one that says, I think it says 64, Windows X64. That's the one you want to choose. And then you go over here, then you're going to actually choose the blue link to make that happen. So you do that, then it comes up and it's going to want to download this. Now, depending on your operating system, it might say save file, but you can save it onto your desktop. Mine came up and it said run, then I just clicked run and it installed. So if you save it on your desktop, then you need to obviously go into it and double click on it to run it. Or actually, once you save it, then it might come up with a run command. But you want to actually run this exe file. And there's an example of when it downloads. You can click on it to run it if you're, depending on your operating system. So it downloads for you, and then you install it. You hit next as it goes through the installation wizard. On this, don't do any changes on this, just accept as it is. Then you'll hit next again. Then it'll go through the process with the green line. It'll continue to go through the process. Ultimately, it'll come up and say it was successfully installed. Then you'll hit close. So that's the process you'll work through to do this. Now, what you do after this, after it installs, then you'll go to your all programs, and slide down Java Development Kit, and what you want to do is click on Java Mission Center, and hopefully that will pop up, and that means that you did get it installed properly. We'll be using this at a later date. But you have to have this installed in order for the Java compiler to work. Taking a bit for that to open up for some reason. Okay, so now you can see that I'm in the Java programming program. But again, you don't need to worry about this for now, because we're going to be doing it from the text editor. But if you get this to come up, then that means you've installed correctly. I'm going to go ahead and get out of that. So what we've done is we've looked at this Java developer, we've explored the writing and compiling and executing, and we've talked a little bit about the work for the week. Now what I want to do is we're going to go into the course. I'm going to show you a few things in the course. So jump into programming. And of course there's the week 2 announcement right here. Here's the PowerPoint to download Java that I just showed you. The couple of things I talked about, assignment directions right here, where I'll have recordings for assignment directions. Also, I'll have an announcement in here for the sample screenshots. I don't have that in here, but I'll have the announcement for sample screenshots in here. And there's the recent student questions announcement that I talked about. As I move down, so we're in the basics unit. That's what we're covering for this week, all of the basics unit. And the things I wanted to show you in section A, you can see that right here you're going to have the program for names, so obviously it falls under section A. And I'm going to go ahead and go forward to where you actually do that program, just to show you the screen. And you're going to, of course, go through this. As you go through the Class Connect write-up, you're going to go through all these windows. And just to have you look at things like this one, this command will print out the value for X on the screen. So you can see how the print line works, and this is just a basic command right here. This is as basic as Java programming gets. This is what your name program is going to look like, as I showed you earlier. So you'll go through this on your own as you go through the Class Connect write-up, just like you do each week. Now here's the first Java program tutorial. So in this tutorial, and you're not going to be doing this, you're going to be doing the sample work program. So in this tutorial, you're going to do the sample work one, just like I showed you a minute ago. And you'll just work through it, listening to what this person says. So it's going to have you work through this, and you're going to do the program called that will show Happy to See You. So you're going to make a program called Happy to See You that will print on your screen. And then, so once you know how to do that, to print Happy to See You on your screen, then of course you have over here the name program. And for the name program, you're going to print your name on the screen. So some changes you'll do for the name program, the class is going to be name. It's going to be the class. And then of course it's going to print, then your name will be right here between the quotes. So that assignment, so write and compile a program that prints your name on the screen, use the tutorial that we just looked at right there, I showed you. And then you're going to send me your .java program. So they recommend that you name the programs, the class. So this program, when you name it, for this program is going to, the class, when you do the program, it says class name for the, not like the object, but the class of the program. Like here, if I look at, like this one says class, then model. Well, the one that you create for the name program, you're going to, the class for that one is going to be the word name. And then when you save it on your computer, it's going to be name.java. That's going to be the name of the file, name.java. And you submit that in the Dropbox. And then and you execute it, make sure it works. Then you submit it in the Dropbox. Then when I go to run it, I should be able to see your name print on the screen. So that's the name assignment for the week. But of course, you're going to need to go through sections A, B, C, and D because you're going to need to get the answers to the Class Connect write-up questions. Get the couple of quizzes done and things like that. So that's the work for this week. 3 quizzes, the write-up, and the name program. So hopefully that will help you out. So just going back to the work for the week. Hopefully that will help you out, and you'll be all ready to go and be successful in this course. And the work for this week won't take you more than a couple of hours, I wouldn't imagine. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it, and I look forward to your programs coming in. Bye.